Hello and welcome to a new episode of Connected from Home, where we choose to stay safe yet refuse to be disconnected. We connect with interesting people from all around the world, get to know more about them, seek inspiration, and have fun. Since marketing is key for every business's success and for every person who wants to create a personal brand, our guest today is a certified marketing strategist with over 10 years of experience. She has trained hundreds of business owners and she's catering for a lot of SMEs in the Gulf. She is Eman and she'll give us tips, tricks, strategies, and much more. Hello, Eman. Thank you for being with us in this episode of Connected from Home and marketing. I think this is a big topic nowadays, and we have a lot to discuss today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
It's our pleasure. Okay, we have so many marketing tools, and they have been evolving over time. Tell us what about the marketing tools that we have in 2020, and I think it has changed after COVID-19.
Well, I think the first thing, we have to stick to the fundamentals. Whatever the tools that are coming out now, it's not going to change how you're going to get people to know, like, and trust you. You can use all sorts of gadgets and applications, and they come like very fast these days with the technology. But at the end of the day, you really have to get your know, like, and trust first and get to know your strategy, your client, your target, and what makes you different from everybody else. And then just go and use whatever tactics that you think that your target are using at this point of time.
Okay, so for businesses starting up, step by step, how would you advise that they create their marketing strategy?
They really have to think of what is it that they're going to bring to the market in terms of value. What is it that the market needs and that they are going to come and satisfy that need? And how are they going to get people to benefit from the value that they bring? So we always say, go think of products that your customer wants. But you're not going to come with the product and then look for the customer who may want them. So the whole idea is that you need to identify what value you bring to the market first. And this is the first thing. I mean, people come to me and say, okay, what can I do? What can I sell? I said, go find out what your market needs and then start to satisfy that.
Okay, and afterwards, when this company, for example, or this person, someone like me, for example, who can be market or business ignorant, I find a need and I have an idea. Afterwards, what can I do?
Okay, the first thing is that you need to test your idea. You're not going to go and spend all that time and money and effort trying to convince people to buy from you, and you yourself have no idea whatsoever whether people are going to want what you're going to offer. So the first thing you need to do is try to test your product on few people that you probably know, family, friends, and so forth, and then see if that resonates with them. And then start to test it over and over again. You see, the testing never really ends, even if you're spending years in business. You always have to go and check because the market changes and the people, kind of their behavior, their wants, the way of life changes with time. So you continue to really want to test your ideas as you go forward.
So by that you mean that this is how you can identify the customer for your product? Well,
the customer identification really comes when you identify the kind of right product for the right customer. You're not going to go and target everybody. And I always say, you cannot be all things to all people. How many billions in the world? And how many, like we have 1.5 million in Bahrain. you're not going to target all of them, and not
Yeah.
everybody's going to buy from you. So you
Yeah.
really need to hone in and start to narrow your target by
Yeah.
really identifying and understanding the kind of people that you want to target. There are some customers who will approach you. They may not be the right customer. There are people who are just shopping around for price. And if
Mm.
people are shopping around for price, that means they really don't understand the value that you bring to them. So
Okay.
the first thing that you need to do is really identify what is it that you're going to bring to this world, the value that you're going to bring to the market, and what sort of pain you're going to take away. Are you going to be saving people money or time or effort or whatever it is that you're trying to solve? And then identify the people who would want to solve that kind of frustration or challenge that they have, because not everybody is going to want what you have to offer.
Okay.
Does that make
Nowadays,
sense?
yeah, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yes, it makes perfect sense. So first of all, I need to figure out what this world needs, what the market needs, and second, I find the people who really need that and the people who are potentially buyers of my product,
But you need to
potential
start
customers.
first, yeah, but you need to start first with what is it that you have in terms of
Yeah.
expertise, in terms of know-how or knowledge or even skills that you are well positioned to actually deliver those products and services.
Okay, that's another good point. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So after identifying my product and my customer and my target, how can I choose the marketing strategy and the marketing tool? Because we have a lot of tool nowadays. We have social media, and a lot of people are, I don't know, heading to Instagram. We have billboards, we have TV commercials, we have other online tools. So, how does this business know that this is the right tool for me?
That's a great question. What I would like to say is that we don't have the money and the time and effort as small businesses or startups to be everywhere.
Hmm.
So based on your conversations with your clients, identifying where is it best for you to communicate with them, then you focus on that tool. And when
Hmm.
you do that, you don't do it like every once in a while. You need to be consistent. You need to be persistent in doing that. But
Okay.
one thing important, you don't own the social media. You don't
Yeah.
own Instagram or Facebook. These people kind of, every once in a while, they change their policy. They change what people see and how often they see it. So
Yeah.
you need to basically build a total online presence. And what that
Hmm.
means is you need to create a website. You can't just rely on social media. You don't
Yeah.
own those channels, and you need to have a presence which is all over the place in terms of, first of all, creating your website. And you
Hmm.
have to be more visible on Google as well as social media.
What do you mean by total online presence?
All right. What I mean by that is that you don't put all your effort, energy, money, or even all of your uh, online assets in terms of images and pictures and videos and everything in one channel. If you put everything on Instagram, let's pretend that you're putting everything that you have on Instagram and you have nothing else.
Yeah.
What if something happens to that account? What if it gets hacked? What if you lose
Happens a lot.
what if you lose access to it? That means you disappear. You
Yeah.
don't have any other presence. What I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is you don't own Instagram, you don't own Facebook, you don't own any of those channels. They come and go. But what you need to do is to create a hub. What I mean by a hub is your website where you put everything in it. And
Hmm.
if you put content that is educational, that is relevant, Google will respect that, and they will put you on the first page when people put the keywords that they're looking for in terms of information. And you will be on the first page without having to pay anything, because all you did is you gave people value in terms of information. And this is where you want to put your focus. I'm not saying don't go on Instagram. I'm saying, yes, go ahead. And this is where people are consuming information. But you want to bring people from Instagram to your website, because this is where you're going to show them everything that you do. You're going to show them how to connect with you. You're going to show them different solutions and services that you provide, which one post on Instagram is not going to do it. So you want to bring people from Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn or whatever channels you have back to your website, where they get more education, they get more information about you and the kind of problems you solve. And this is where I'm saying, have a total online presence. Yes, go social media, but you need to have a website in the first place.
Okay, can you give us some tips and tricks on how to put yourself on the first page on Google without paying anything?
That's a great question. Yeah. Google is always indexing information. And that information is the kind of information people are looking for. And how does Google know? Because people are typing the keywords that they're looking for. And therefore, if you continue to feed content to on your website or even on your Instagram and social media account, the kind of content and keywords that people are looking for, Google will respect you and put you on the first page, especially in a market where people are not really paying attention to that, because you will be on the first page. You will give value to people, and people are visiting your website. People are coming to your website for information or service. Google will notice that. The more visitors you have on your website because of your content, the more Google will put you on the first page. So it's all interrelated. Keywords, this is going to help your SEO, which is search engine optimization. It's going to help you rank high, and also rank you in terms of, compared to your competitors. And the other thing that you need to focus on is something called Google My Business. Google My Business is when you create an account on Google My Business where you put information about your website, your telephone numbers, your working hours, all your pictures and images and videos. You basically give content to Google that you want them to rank for you. So the more content you put out there, you're going to be ranking higher than all of your competitors if they are still sleeping and they're still not really taking that seriously. So ranking on the first page of Google is not rocket science. It's just, and it doesn't cost money, by the way. You just need to put a little bit of effort into giving Google content, and that content has to be valuable as well.
Thank you. That's a great tip. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
What is the common mistake that businesses do nowadays? We can talk about maybe startups.
Yeah, the common mistake is that they think that marketing is an event. I will do a promotion today and then just do it for a week. You can't do it forever. You can do it for a week and then they stop. And they think marketing is just about advertising.
Yeah.
Marketing is a continuous game. So long as you're in your business, you have to start to plan for it. And this is the mistake that most people, not only startups, most people, even big companies fall into. They go and do a big campaign and then they disappear. And they think, it's like that is going to do it. Marketing is about staying on top of mind. I want to be on top of mind with people. When they need me, they see me in front of them. And that's not going to happen when you just advertise for a while and then you stop. So treat marketing as a continuous process that you will be able to kind of come and engage with people through different means, whether it's an advertising or even an educational session or even, your testimonials, putting out images and videos. All of these things will keep you on top of mind when it comes to your clients.
So, what do you say about businesses who don't come up with original ideas, or, as you said before, don't focus on what the market needs? They just see a successful business and they say, let's follow.
Well, you know, there are lots of business owners. They see a successful business and they go and copy it.
Yeah.
You know, I have no problem with that. Honestly, I have no problem. Maybe you can add more value to it. I mean, a lot of the new applications that we see it online, it has started somewhere, and people took it and they improved on it, or they added more value to it. There's no problem in that. What I don't like is you take it exactly as is, all right? And even when people start to market, they follow exactly what everybody else is doing. So for example, if you mention somebody 3 times or 3 friends, you get a prize. How many people are actually using that now? I mean, it's not original anymore. People are just not even participating. And I heard someone saying, I put an ad and only 3 people liked it. It's an ad. I put money in it. Because
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? It's because you're not bringing anything, you're selling all the time. People don't see the value in clicking, even liking. And maybe just your friends, your mother or father who clicked, you know, it's not, it's not,
Yes.
it's not your real target, you know.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is truly, I mean, I really want you to understand the people that you want to deal with, the people that you want to attract. And if they're not reacting to your ad, that means there's something wrong with the message. You know,
Yes.
it's not the ad itself, it's the message you put there. How are you going to help me in my life as a client or as a customer or as a person? No matter how much you're going to give me in terms of prizes, okay, you do prizes and you get a lot of followers, but they're not the right followers. They're just there for
Yes.
that prize, you know.
Yes.
And
And they're actually leaving afterwards.
yeah, and not only that, you got about 10 or 20,000 followers, but the engagement is almost nothing. You know, you don't
Yes.
get comments on your future posts. So, okay, it's good to get people to know you, but what is the next step? How are you going to get them to trust you and move to actually trying you and buying you? So this is where you need to think, okay, I'm not against marketing and I'm not advertising. I'm not against doing contests, and I'm totally happy with that. But that's a one-time thing. How often are you going to do that? So you always need to think of the next step. What is it that I want to offer to keep those people following me and engaging with me?
So, as a business coach and a marketing coach, what's the most common question that you get?
Well, one of the things that people ask, how can I get more customers?
Yeah.
Obviously, if you get more customers, you'll be more profitable.
Yeah.
You need to first focus on attracting the right customers. Because if people are going to come to you and say how much, because that's what they do, you have to say, okay, I want to tell you what sort of problems I want to solve for you, and then let's talk about how much. Because if they come to you and not really, they don't know anything about you, they don't know the kind of how are you different from everybody else, they'll just rely on price. The second thing
Yeah.
is that once you get a customer, you want that customer to stay. You don't want to be chasing always after new ones when you have those that are really going to build your business with you. I mean, they're going to buy from you over and over again, and they're going to
Yeah.
go and spread the word about you to their friends, families, and colleagues. And the other problem that people face is this issue of just doing marketing on an inconsistent basis, doing it for 1 week and they disappear for months and they want to start again and they want people to engage with them again. People don't have time, you know, they have, there's just so much noise out there. Everybody's trying to attract their attention. And if you're
Yes.
not engaging with them on a consistent basis, they'll forget you. And then when you start marketing again, you're going to start all over. It's just like they don't know anything about you now. They've forgotten you. And the memory span of people now is getting shorter and shorter.
Yes.
And they're not going to remember you unless you engage on a consistent basis.
We nowadays have trends and it's moving very, very rapidly. Like sometimes we have this, even for example, a desserts restaurant. It became a trend. Everyone is going there. It's so crowded. You should reserve and you should have a waiting list and stuff like that. And just after a little while, even if their product hasn't changed and nothing has changed, no one is going there anymore. They're following a new trend and they're going to like a different restaurant. Maybe I'm simplifying it by saying restaurant, but it can apply to so many products. And I think that this is something that is happening nowadays more than ever. So how do you think businesses can cope and can always stay the trend?
Well, people want to try different things. They get bored from eating the same food, taking your restaurant example, and they want to be able to say, I'm going to go to this restaurant or to this place to have an experience. Sometimes it's not the food, it's the experience that they get when they come and eat at your place or buy from you. So you need to continue to up the experience. If you're not going to change the menu, but improve the experience that people get when they come to your place. Sometimes people come for the environment, for the atmosphere, for the decor. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the food. So you always have to follow the trend, maybe in certain areas by improving the way you give the service, you deliver it. And that's going to work,
So you advise that they change the atmosphere every now and then, change some things about the menu, like
what I'm saying is make the experience every time to the standard that people expect and even more. You always have to exceed people's expectations. Okay, let's say you're packaging your stuff in a certain way. Every once in a while, change your packaging. Maybe the food is the same, but how you present it in a different way will get people to be more interested. People don't like to buy from boring businesses. Okay, you want to continue to keep that excitement. And just a few days ago, someone asked me, how can I get my customer excited about my offers? Right?
Okay, that's a very good question, actually.
Exactly. And to get them excited, you need to give them not only the right product that they're looking for, but the buying experience that exceeds their expectations. And it could be very simple things. A little card that you put on the stuff that they buy. You know, as simple, like a thank you note or a welcome note or a flower or something that, something they didn't expect, and they leave being wowed somehow by the experience they have from you.
Do you think people should cope with COVID-19 with new strategies?
Absolutely. You need to, what I call is pivot. Pivot is like you're going in a certain kind of route. You have a path that you have drawn up 2-3 years ago. And now you are at a point where you have to make decisions. You have to say, I cannot really continue the way I am. I have to pivot. And that pivoting is now opening doors for people that there are just so many opportunities there because we are in COVID. I can tell you that. People are getting more business online. People are actually communicating more online, just like we're doing now on, having this interview. And it has changed so much in 7 months, more than the last 7 years, if I could say that. Because people were forced to change and adapt. And there are so many opportunities for you to flourish, even during this time, by just seeing how can you use the new tools that is available for you online to actually grow your business.
Okay, my last question, I promise.
Oh, please go
I
ahead.
can't get enough of your answers. Okay. So, what are the golden opportunities out of this COVID-19 era that people should be utilizing?
Well, I have seen that if you have a certain skill, okay, let me just step back.
Yeah.
People have this thing about, I'm not an expert. Okay, I don't know nothing. How can I get people to know me or to like what I have to offer or believe that I can do better? What I say to people, if you're just one step ahead of everybody, you can grow that expertise. People are looking for that additional step that you have learned and that you have spent time to learn, and now you want to give it back to those who really need it. What I'm saying to people, there's just so much opportunity now for online training, online education, building your personal brand online. There is just so much time that people have in their hands now with being at home and not really having the opportunity to spend it elsewhere, is for people to get education online. And you have the opportunity to educate yourself online to get even 2 or 3 steps ahead of everybody else. Don't wait until you become a real expert in everything. Choose an area that you feel resonates with you as a person, and you feel that you can actually give in that particular expertise or line of, whether it's creative, whether it's informational, whatever it is that you feel that there's a good market for it, you can go ahead and build those expertise and start to educate people before you try to sell them anything.
Okay. Thank you so much for being with us in this episode of Connected from Home. I really, really enjoyed this. Such an interesting conversation. Thank you so much.
I do hope that I added some value today, and
You did.
and I hope that people who are actually listening or watching to connect, because I've got lots of stuff coming up, educational stuff that might be
Okay,
useful for business owners and startups as well.
definitely. Thank you so much. And it was such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
This is the end of today's episode of Connected from Home. See you next week with new topics, features, and stories from all around the world.